Hi everybody, we're just about to get started. I'm just looking at my time here, 8:59, so just a couple of seconds there till 9 o'clock. So hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear. The hottest stocks and the hottest industries. All right, we'll show you how that's supposed to be a house. Let's just quickly fix this up before we broadcast today. All right, so we're just about to get going. Let's just make sure we get that all fixed up. All right, so we're just about there. Oh, there we are. Okay. Let's officially get started. Hi everybody, my name is Russell Markham. I'm the Director of Education for VectorVest Asia Pacific. The hottest stocks and the hottest industries. Right, we show you how to do this in seconds a day. Now for today, I'm going to be using the all-powerful VectorVest program, all right, because there's just no other way to show you it. I want to show you just how quick and easy it is to do with just a few clicks of the mouse, where you can find some of the best stocks money can buy. All right, so I'm just double checking. Yes, audio is coming through loud and clear, and we're all working through nicely. Okay, with that said, let me fire up VectorVest. So I'll bring this over from the other screen here. I'll just close that out and bring this over so it's nice and neat. There we go. So I've loaded up VectorVest 7 for Australia. This is the home page. Plenty of good stuff on here. Don't let all this overwhelm you. It's really basic once you get to grips with it. Today I'm just going to go and pick on this one here called Viewers. So in Viewers here we've got a watch list viewer. So I hop up to the top here on the home page. We've got all the different types of layouts within Viewers. And what I've done here for today to speed things up is I've created a folder. We call it a group in VectorVest effectively. So we create a group. So just on the drop down here, I create a group, and I've given it the name Hottest Stocks and the Hottest Industries. And once you've generated a group, you can then generate a watch list within the group. Again, just it's simple functionality. Don't let that overwhelm you. It's really simple to do once you've done it once or twice. What I want to spend time on today is I want to go and populate this watch list. So I've set up a watch list, nice and easy to find. So now we've given it a group name and we've given it a watch list name. Now the fun begins. Okay, so the hottest stocks and the hottest industries, let's do it. So to do it, back on Viewers here, and I'm going to go into this one here called Industry Viewer. Now what VectorVest does each and every day is it ranks the hottest industries each and every day by price momentum. Okay, so we can go and work out what industries are moving the quickest at the moment. So I've got my pen and paper ready. I'm going to jot down, here we are, a whole lot of stocks as they fall due. And then what we'll do is we'll populate it back into our watch list. So we'll go back to our watch list here and we'll then populate back per our watch list. Okay. So with that said, let's go to Industry Viewer and I'm going to show you just how quick and easy it is to do. So Industry Viewer, VectorVest says, well, you know, materials, paper and forest products. This industry on average is doing pretty well. Well, let's have a look at the overall industry graph, the selected industry. And I can see, oh yeah, let's turn all this off for now. We'll come to it shortly. Wow, you know, yeah, it's on fire. What's going on at the moment? Why is paper and product in such high demand? And again, you can go and research it, but I'm wanting to look what's in front of me right now. Why is it performing so well? So the quickest way to do it, double click, and then VectorVest will bring back all of the given stocks associated with that industry. So if I move over here, I can see paper, forest products. All right, and let's just right click. I'll just make this all nice and easy to see. There we are. So it's under the materials sector. Okay, well, let's have a look. Just because a company's in a given industry that's doing well doesn't always mean it's going to be doing the best. All right, so I can see, wow, this one here, Big River. Wow, look at that, on fire. It's gone berserk. It's gone from about $1.20 up over $2. Is that sustainable? We'll talk about that shortly. And here's another one here. It's had a nice little run too. A little bit volatile in recent times. Same with this one here. And wow, this one here is not so great. Yes, it is sort of turning around, but this is definitely the weak link in that industry at the moment. All right, the next thing I want to do here on graph layouts here, I'm just going to change it to a VectorVest simple layout. Nice and simple. And all I'm wanting to look at is two indicators. EPS, this is a 12-month leading forecast on earnings. All right, it won't agree with your broker, it won't agree with Bloomberg. This is proprietary, so VectorVest is looking at both historic, current, and then the rest is forecasted data in terms of how an industry is stacking up in terms of its earnings profile. Just clean it up just a wee bit here to make it easier to see. So I'm looking at this going, okay, well, yep, earnings holding steady. I'd like to see them coming up, but nonetheless, the technicals are on fire. So this company's moving quickly up at the moment, and while the technicals are pumping, the stock is going to keep going. All right, so at least in the short term, now again, I'm not licensed to give advice, I'm not a financial advisor, so please do speak to your financial professional, but we've seen time and time again, when the technicals move up and continue to crank up, the share price goes up. When the technicals fall, like they did here, the share price falls. So at the moment, the momentum is massively in our favor and earnings are holding steady. Ideally, I want them, as I noted, coming up, but steady will do. Okay, so I'll jot that one down. So that's probably the one that jumps out to me most out of these ones here. You can see a turnaround, the earnings starting, the technicals holding up, but none of these are really jumping out. All right, except for the first one. So let's close out here. All right, next one here, ETFs. Now, for this exercise, I'm going to find you the best stocks, but I'll just show you, for example, with ETFs. So if I look at the commodity ETFs, here's a few here. All right, the best one's ranked at the top of the list. And you can see over here, wow, look at this, up it comes, and those technicals are firing up. We can't give you the earnings because we just don't have the fundamental data. I don't think anybody can give you the earning profiles on ETFs. All right. So from a technical perspective, this one's on fire. The technicals are running hot. Same with this one here. Technicals are firing up hot. All right. Same with this one here, QUA. Look at those technicals firing it up. So for today, I'm happy to throw in one or two ETFs, but ideally for this presentation, I wanted to talk about stocks because I can show you both earnings and the technicals. All right, so I've just given you a few interesting ones there that you can consider. But moving down the list here, let's get into our next set of stocks. Financials, banks, shock horror. Yes, they're right up there at the top of the list at the moment. Things are starting to change. So we've seen the big four banks in Australia, Westpac Bank, CBA, ANZ, etc. We've seen in recent years the earnings profiles were under a lot of pressure. Now something really good's happening. They're starting to turn those earnings profiles. So let's grab a swag here. I bet you there's a few stocks here that you didn't even know were banks, right? So we generally tend to talk about the top, 4 or 5, but there's many others in there too. So let's have a look here. Let's put our earnings back on. So this one here, let's fire it up. Look at the earnings. Nice set of earnings. Good. Technicals were under pressure. Just starting to see that turnaround here. So it's early days yet. I probably want to wait for some follow through, but nice profile there. So let's make a note of that one there. I'll jot that down on my bit of paper. RMC. Let's keep going. I don't like these earnings for now. All right, it's just under too much pressure. And so let's keep going. Very volatile price here. Earnings going flat. Doesn't really jump out at me. Earnings here are falling. Keep going. Same with this one here. Look at that falling set of earnings. It concerns me. This is a bearish divergence. So effectively you're seeing price going up, but you're seeing earnings falling. I prefer to make sure that the earnings are going in tandem with the price. You're running a risk. Okay, so we're seeing that falling, but look closely on Westpac Bank. Notice this, just starting to see that tick up in the earnings profile. So that excites me. Technicals just sliding off a bit, so I might just want to wait just a bit for those technicals to flow through. And I'll clear all the lines in here. This was a bit of analysis I did the other day. I've become very excited again on CBA because I'm seeing this. I'm seeing that the technicals firing up over here, and I'm seeing the earnings firing up. So CBA, yes, let's jot down CBA. All right, so close out of here. We found our best bank, in my humble opinion, using VectorVest. Again, not financial advice. Please do speak to your financial professional for advice. But here we are. Let's keep going. Market closed-end funds. Okay, so you can see over here, here's a few here. Let's graph these given ones here. And now these are market trackers. So again, coming down to ETFs. So for the exercise today, I'm not going to be throwing in the ETFs, but here's one that jumps out. The technicals are firing up. Very nice profile there on that ETF. Okay, so I'll close out of here. let's keep going. So that's another indice that's market tracker. So I'll keep it to the stocks. Aluminium, right up there in the lists as well. So what I'm wanting to do is to find no more than, say, 1 to 2 stocks in an industry, because we want to find the hottest stocks and the hottest industries to provide some good diversification. Look at this one here, CAA, Caprol Limited, aluminium. Wow, look at that profile, look at the earnings, look at the technicals, that jumps out. Beautiful set of earnings there, 12-month leading forecast on the earnings. Technicals, although a little bit choppy, they're holding above 1. So just to clarify, this is on a scale of 0 to 2, our relative timing short-term price momentum indicator. So when you're seeing the technicals above 1 and holding steadily above 1 on average, it's a good sign telling you that the momentum is in your favor. So CAA jumps out at me. It was another one that jumps out. I like the fact that this is coming up big time here on the technicals, but this concerns me. I'm just not really seeing much sign of life in the earnings just yet. All right, so it looks like we've picked out the ones from aluminium, the one that jumps out. Let's keep going. That's another ETF. Wow, the ETFs are on fire. We are going to run another Hot Topics of Interest series, and definitely ETFs will be in there because of the way they're performing at the moment. Materials construction. Okay, let's have a look at this one here. So here are our top fundamental and technicals, the top list and the bottom ones at the bottom of the list. So let's start at the top of the list, of course. Are there any that jump out? Wow, look at this. James Hardie, earnings holding steady, technicals holding steady. That jumps out. It's a nice steady performer at the moment. This one here, Venture Building, I like the price profile. Earnings are just sort of slid down a bit. See that? Also the technicals just sort of, it's consolidating. I want to wait for it to start breaking back up again, but certainly that would be on my short list. You know what? We can throw it in for now, because once we get it into our watch list, we can refine it further. So I'll jot down FBU. No, I mean, I'm not quite convinced on that earnings profile. Technicals are good. Okay, so it looks like, wow, this one here. No, I can't ignore this one here. Wagner's holding. I really like the earnings profile going pop to the upside, and your technicals holding steady and coming up to the upside. So WGN, let's jot that one down. Let's close out of here. Let's keep going. All right, consumer discretionary, auto and components. Interesting. All right, so let's see. Top ones at the top of the list here. Let's see how they stack up. So they've got to jump out. See how quick and easy and fun this is to do. Beautiful earnings, technicals holding steady. There we go. I don't need to look much further. And I'll keep it at just 1 for that industry. We'll get some diversification going. Financials, real estate. We know real estate's been on fire recently around the country. Let's see which are the standout performers. In we go. It doesn't really jump out. It's not too bad, Goodman Group. I like the earnings coming up. Technical starting to fire up again. So GMG might be one I consider. Let's see, is there one that really jumps out? LIC is not bad. Look at those earnings. Earnings are really starting to crank. Technical's about to turn the corner there. So I'll jot down LIC. Let's close out of here. We've got enough from that one there. Insurance. Let's see, insurance. Here we go. So let's graph a few here on the insurance side of things, and let's just double check, just making sure, of course, everything's still working technically, so that's good. All right, AUB, the technicals just starting, see that, just starting to sort of wane a bit, slide down a bit, so I want to be careful. No, nothing really jumps out of me on insurance. Okay, so moving on. Containers and packaging. Let's graph the first couple here. All right, let's graph the selected ones here, just the first 2 or 3. All right, technicals coming off. So I want to see those technicals firing up. No. All right, so you just got to be ruthless. You've got the tools in front of you. It's got to jump out. Remember, it's your money at the end of the day, your hard-earned money. You want the best, the best. Okay, technicals just coming off, having a bit of a breather. I really like the profile though. So, I want to wait for those technicals to start firing up. A few of you might argue, well, hang on, it's just about to start turning the corner. Is it too soon? I don't know. It's not a bad stock. All right, so no, okay. We'll move on from there. And let's see, consumer discretionary. We've got quite a bit of consumer stuff. So let's go into industrial transportation. All right, so I'll just jump a few here. just to get some further diversification going. All right, this one here, really starting to kick up with the earnings. KSC. So I'll jot that one down. And yeah, and that was not too bad too. It's starting to pick up to the upside. This one's not bad either, but I think we've got. Whoops, was that? Yeah, there was part of that one there. AQZ, it was okay. And let's do one more here. Let's have a look. Gold. All right, gold hasn't done so well in recent months because the market's been booming, but as the market slows down, gold starts to come back into favor. There's been record flows into gold in recent weeks. I think part of it's to do with the sell down in Bitcoin, and some investors are piling back into gold. Certainly that's what I read the other day. Interesting times. All right, I like this, that the earnings are holding steady and the technicals are firing up. So RMS would certainly be one to consider there. So let's jot that one down there, RMS. And I see, okay, one more for good luck. Let's do one more industry for good luck. What should we pick on? You know what? We haven't got anything in the info technology sector or industry, so let's fire that one up. And it's going to have a look. So the first couple here, a few have got sell ratings, so it just means we need to just be a little bit careful. But look at this, Codan. Codan is certainly doing what I want it to do. Look at those earnings, look at the technicals. So CDA. All right, I think we've got enough. You get the idea. You've got this all at your fingertips where you can pick the best stocks in the best industries. Okay, so find those hottest stocks in the hottest industries. Let's go back now to our watch lists. So we hop back to our watch lists. Hottest stocks in the hottest industries, here we go. And I'm going to quickly populate those in. All right, so I've got a few here that we noted today. BRI, RMC, I'm just looking at my paper as I scribbled them down. I wrote them neatly so I can remember them, or at least put them in correctly. JHX, FBU, we had WGN, ARB, we had GMG, LIC. I'm putting in .AX because it's telling VectorVest that this is for Australia. All right, so there's a reason why I'm putting in .AX. You can do the same exercise for Canada, Europe, UK, for example. All right, so just adjust my glasses. All right, there we go. And let's auto fit all columns. Here we go. 12 in total. Now this is interesting. If I come down to the bottom here, all right, price of $21, value of 16. So neither here nor there. VectorVest saying it's effectively fairly valued. It's not dramatically over or undervalued. All right, I want to just right click this bottom line. So right click view, watch this average graph. I want to show you the average of all these stocks. Look at the earnings profile for all of these stocks on average. Look at the technical profile for all of these stocks on average. There you go. If you look at that, that's a pretty hot set of stocks, is it not? So there are your hottest stocks in the hottest industries. The earnings are on fire. The technicals are on fire. I'm going to throw in a few little extras here for some fun, just to show you. Let's add parameter. And I'm going to throw in sales. I want to see what sales that these companies are doing. All right, yearly sales in millions of dollars. So it's 4,060 million across the board. Notice this over here. All right, you're seeing over here that these companies on average, the sales are dropping. Okay, I mean it's not a dramatic drop, but still it's coming off. Ideally, I'd like to have those sales growing. Why then are the earnings cranking up so well? Why are they doing so well? If I add in another parameter, and I'm going to throw in VectorVest fields, and I'm going to throw in one here called net profit margin, NPM. This is the dollars and cents that a company would make for every $1 of sales. So for every $1 of sales, they're making 11 cents margin. So I'm looking at this in here, I'm saying, well, okay, they're growing their margins. What if we could get a company that's growing its margins and growing its sales? So with that said, I'm going to do a final sweep of my stocks, saying, well, yes, they're doing very well, but there are some declining sales across the board. So let's just knock out one or two of them where the sales are declining. All right, so let's take off NPM for now. This is sales. So let's have a look. Okay, so CDA, yep, going okay. RMS on the sales. Oh, hang on. KSC. So let's jot this down on the to review list. KSC. Why are the sales dropping a bit? All right, keep going. Yeah, LIC, sales have come off just a wee bit. All right, keep going. I need to jump out at me. FBU. All right, well, maybe that'll be enough to tighten up the portfolio. So let's just go and quickly identify those ones there. So KC, it was LIC and FBU. So let's delete those selected ones, take them out. All right, so we're now down to 9. And let's view the watch list average graph. All right, so from a sales perspective, no, we're still sort of holding steady, but just come off slightly. So it must be obviously this one here because all the others stacked up. So yep, we know that the banks have been under some financial pressure and sales were falling. But I do like the fact that Commonwealth Bank's earnings, as I'm noting on here, is starting its great turnaround. But nonetheless, I'm going to be very fussy. So I'll take this one out for now. And let's go and view the watch list average again. There we go. Sales are coming up. Here's our earnings. All right, and there's our net profit margin. So net profit margin holding steady at about 25 cents on the dollar for every $1 of sales, 25 cents profit. Sales are growing, which all leads to a great earnings per share. All right, earnings per share profile. So there you go, the hottest stocks and the hottest industries. It's not hard to do, right? So just a quick recap. All I did, if I click on my Viewers tab in VectorVest, right, so go to my Viewers tab, I click on Watch List Viewer, I create myself a group. So in here, I just simply put in a new group, and then you give it a name, right? So I'll just type and say name, you give it a name. And once you're happy, you click Add, right? So in this case here, I created hottest stocks and the hottest industries as a name. Then you select it, and you then create a new watch list. Same deal. You then give it a name and click Add. In this particular case, I gave it this name here, hottest stocks and hottest industries again. And then what you do at this point, right, so I'll just auto fit this, make it all nice and neat. What you do now at this point is you go and find those great stocks to populate. So all I did is I came to the home on Viewers, back up to the home, and I said, all right, VectorVest, tell me the hottest industries out there. And away I went. So the first one there was paper forest products. I double clicked, and VectorVest gives me all the breakout of the stocks in that industry, and I've picked the one that jumps out to me most. Then I keep going. If I want stocks, I don't want ETFs, all right, next one, financial banks, double click. Begin my analysis. The best combination fundamentals and technicals are at the top of the list. So that's where you begin your analysis, and you're just simply looking for, here for example, when we clicked on Westpac Bank, the two key things I'm looking for in current market is I want a rising set of earnings, EPS, and I want to make sure that my technicals on average are holding up. They're above 1. Yes. All right. So this was more of a shorter term play. It wasn't as strong as some of the others. Okay. And I keep going. Well, materials construction, for example. Okay. And away you go again. You graph it. This one's going to jump out well. The earnings are doing what I want it to do. The share price is doing what I want it to do. Technicals are holding up. So I jot that one down. And once you've done that exercise across a couple of industries, I normally do about 10 to 15, depending on how many stocks I'm after. Once I've jotted down my list, I then head over to my watch list viewer. Okay, so I go back to watch list viewer, and I open up the one that I've just generated. And then from here, just auto fit it all. From here, I then populate my symbols. All right, so to put in code in cda.ax, comma to separate it, and then you type in your next one, RMS. .ax, comma, etc., etc. Once you put them all in, you click Add, and it'll then populate. And then the final thing I did is I just simply came down to the bottom watch list, anywhere down here, right click, and I look at the average. And what I'm wanting to make sure is that my earnings are holding steady and my technicals are holding steady too. I want my earnings to be coming up, and I want my technicals on average to be coming up, and that's it. And then what I did, just for a little bit of extra, is I looked at my sales, just make sure my sales were going up and my net profit margin was going up. And if those were not going up or not holding steady, all I do then is just revise, go through my list and look to see if there's any weaknesses. So I'd graph each given stock to say, well, your earnings pass, okay, your technicals pass, your net profit margin is holding steady, your sales are holding steady, okay. And I just simply weed out any stock where I feel it's not sufficient. So I finally get a list that stacks up. Now here's the thing. This exercise that I did for Australia, how long did it take you? You know, we've been talking for what, about 20, 25 minutes. Shouldn't take you more than 20 minutes to do. It's quick, it's easy. You can then replicate this exercise for Canada, Europe, UK, US, for example. I love doing this exercise in the US. I don't want to spoil the surprise for when we meet next, because I think it's in a fortnight's time, right? When we meet next, because I want to do this exercise in the US. I want to show you the US, and you're going to be blown away when you see the type of stocks and the earning profiles, and then their profit margin, the sales profiles that I will find you for the US stocks. All right, but for today, I thought this list here stacked up very well. Very nice looking set of stocks here on average. Okay, so let us know in the chat box, what do you think of that exercise? So there's 8. Now, if you're after 10, of course, you just continue the exercise further. So you would continue the exercise further and keep continuing on to drill into further industries, okay, until you built up your 10 stocks, for example. All right, so there it is. And if I scroll out to the right here, let's have a look at our final industries and sectors. If I click on industry, here we go, I'll just move it back. Let's have a look at the diversification. So we've got materials, we've got quite a bit of materials, 1, 2, 3, 4, but the industries are different. Paper, gold, construction. So we've got 2 lots in construction, but we've got gold and paper. Then we've got info tech, hardware and equipment. We've got financials for real estate. We've got financials, banks. And then we've got consumer discretionary, auto and components. So automotive and components. So there you go. Plenty of diversification there. What I tend to do, just another tip, is I tend just to pick the top stock in the top industry. All right. So if you're after 10 stocks, it might pay to go through maybe 12 or 13 industries and pick the top one in each of those industries, provided that it stacks up what I've noted to you today. Put it into your watch list and then do your final sweep, just in case there's 1 or 2 that need to be taken out, so you can have at least 10 in total. And that way you can get super duper diversification with some of the best stocks money can buy. Okay. There it is. So the hottest stocks in the hottest industries. Let's just bring the slide set back up. So if you want to do this exercise here, why not take it a trial? So there it is, vectorvest.com.au/trial. So for $9.95 USD, call it 13 Australian dollars. For around about 13 Australian dollars, you can trial out VectorVest for 30 days. Right, so give it a go for 30 days. And see what you think. Do that exercise. Do that exact exercise that I've shown you. We don't just give you access to Australia, but we'll give you access to all the other countries as well. So you can then log in and do the exercise for Canada, Europe, UK, for example, to find those hot stocks. Okay. So just to let you know too, so for each person that takes out a trial, we'll give you up to 30 minutes free training by one of our Melbourne-based consultants. All right, so you're going to get some great training. If you want them to reiterate what I've shown you today here, they're happy to do so. Right, you'll be invited to our monthly online VectorVest investment gatherings. All right, they're really, really useful. Last week we covered some pretty amazing technical analysis. The week before that we did some amazing portfolio construction type presentations. So there's amazing content in those monthly gatherings. You'll get access to our weekly videos and essays. Again, some amazing stuff that gets produced each week. And you'll get access to all of our portfolios that we track each and every day in VectorVest. So you can get access to this, for example, if I go to the VectorVest portfolios. So you might not want to construct it yourself. You might say, well, VectorVest, show us what you're currently doing. And VectorVest will then show you. All right, here's our 10 stock model portfolio. You can see the performance over the years. It's a real cracker of a portfolio. We're not fund managers, we're not brokers, we don't manage your money, but we'll show you exactly what we do each and every day using our tools. And there's one. This one here, a lot of people are after income. So here's an income type portfolio. Interesting, it's only holding 1 at the moment. It's gone into cash somewhat, protecting itself until the next wave up. Here's the balanced portfolio. This one is a high performer. And if I have a look here, here's the dividends. Look at 5, 4, 3, 6. All right, so look at that performance. So you might just want to jot a couple of those codes down to see what you think for yourself. All right, so I'll wrap it up. I'll jump back there, the 8 that we produced today. Here's the final result for the watch list. Pretty impressive. Okay, so I'll leave it there. I'll leave it back in the slide set there. There is the link, www.vectorvest.com.au/trial. So www.vectorvest.com.au/trial. Otherwise, just simply Google VectorVest and you'll come along to our Australia website. Type in VectorVest Australia, hop along to our Australia website, and on the website, you'll see there's a link where you can take out a trial if you prefer to do it that way. Okay, you'll end up at the same place effectively. All right, so I hope you got a lot out of it. I will turn off the live streaming. Here we go. I'll need to turn it off just so it doesn't continue on. Thank you for your attention today. I hope you got a lot out of it. All right, do that exercise. You won't regret it. I wish I had done it years ago. You'll be very surprised. In fact, do that exercise and put your current stocks in and then have a look. And then do the exercise again, but do it the way I've shown you and compare the stocks that you get to your current stocks. Compare and contrast. It's very illuminating when you do that. All right. Okay. Hope you got a lot out of it. Until we meet next time, we're going to show you the hottest stocks, the best stocks from around the world when we meet next in this webcast, Hot Topics of Interest webcast series. I can't wait. I'm going to show you some very powerful stocks, not just within Australia, but now outside of Australia. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss out on that.